So
bit.
Halloween is what, next Tuesday? Oh my gosh, we're less than a week away. So we got to talk about food allergies because you don't want your kids getting sick.
So we have board-certified allergist and immunologist, Dr. Manav Segal, here to tell us what we can buy to keep our trick-or-treaters safe.
By the way, what are the most common allergies now?
The most common foods kids can become allergic to are milk, eggs, soy, wheat, peanuts, and tree nuts, and sesame. So when we think about all the candies we love and we love handing out,
They have all that in there.
they're going to include a lot of those ingredients, you're right. So for families with food allergies, it can be particularly stressful.
Okay, let's go through some of the candy. One of my favorites, and a lot of people hate it, the candy corn.
Yeah. So, you know, the reason I brought these candies was to show some examples of food labels and how they can be really confusing for families. So here we have 2 examples of candy corn.
Write down a little bit on the overhead,
Sure.
please. We got 2 samples here.
Yeah. One is made by Jelly Belly, the other one is Brock's. If you take them out of the package, they're gonna look very similar. But when we look at the ingredients, and that's the key take-home for families with food allergies, is you have to know what's in your product. Kids need to avoid the foods that they're allergic to. So when we look at Jelly Belly candy corn, what we'll see is that when we look at the ingredients, there's no peanuts in there. In fact, there's voluntary labeling on it that says that it's made in a peanut-free facility. On the other hand, when we look at Brock's, it's not so much that it's, the point I wanted to make is that it has a different list of ingredients. So they're both candy corn, but Brock's has different ingredients, including sesame seed oil. So for a child with sesame seed allergy, Brock's candy corn may be problematic as opposed to the Jelly Belly option.
So the key is read the label, and the top ingredient will be the most
correct. But
Yeah.
for kids with food allergies, they really need to strictly avoid it, even in small
How about
quantities.
Kit Kat?
So Kit Kats are great. There's no peanuts in it. But when we look at the flip side of it, and we look at the ingredient list, we see that there's voluntary labeling, again, that said it's manufactured in a facility that also processes peanuts. So again, for kids who are strictly avoiding peanut, that could be problematic. Similar with M&Ms. Plain M&Ms don't contain peanuts, but the labeling says may contain peanuts. So for my patients who are highly allergic to peanut, I also recommend that they avoid those types of foods.
How about Hershey?
Hershey's is a great example of different size bars having different labeling, okay?
Wow.
So we have the king size bar, we have the regular size bar, we have miniatures, and when we flip over the king size bar, we'll see that it's manufactured on equipment that also processes almonds. That's not true for the regular size bar. When we look at the miniatures, which come in a separate package, there's no labeling with ingredients in it. And in fact, the package for the miniatures, if we want to know what's inside these, we have to look at the
big
package
bag.
that came in,
Right.
which could contain peanuts because they're kept with these Mr. Good
It
bars.
seems like
that
all the
also
stuff at the
contain
end of the
peanuts.
table there would be okay.
These are great options. Nowadays, you know, candy companies are doing a better job in terms of labeling. On Dum Dums, right on the front of the bag, it says free of major allergens. And when we flip it over, we'll see that they make it clear that it doesn't contain peanut, tree nuts, milk, or egg. There's some companies that are marketing directly to families with food allergies. They're labeling right on the front of the bag, it's peanut and tree nut free. But when we look at the back of the bag, it's also reassuring that it doesn't contain soy, egg, dairy, fish, shellfish, peanuts, or tree nuts. These are a lot of foods that kids can commonly become allergic to.
And the color on it, too, is an indicator, because if you want your kid to be aware when they're going around getting candy, there's also the type of pumpkin or what you have.
Right. So the Teal Pumpkin Project's being promoted by an organization called FAIR, or Food Allergy Research and Education.
Right here.
And it indicates you have non-food treats. There's a lot of great stuff that's available both online and stores now that caters to providing non-food treats at Halloween time. I found these
like Play-Doh, we got some
wind-up
straws,
toys.
pencils,
It doesn't have to be
erasers.
candy.
It doesn't have to be candy, and I'll tell you that when we hand this out at our house on Halloween, you know, all the kids love it. You don't have to have food allergies.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay. Good ideas.
This is great.
Thank you so much.
My pleasure.